50 years ago on Victoria Island. It was his federal government allocation, or Lagos State government allocation, on Akin Adeshola. From the revenue generated from building that house for free, because he built it, G. Kappa built it for him and collected the rent for 5 or 10 years, and that was the payment for the house. That house, or the 2 houses that he built there, paid my education and my brother's education in the finest schools in the world. Yeah? You know, it's easier for God to anoint education than it is for him to anoint illiteracy. Think about it. After I paid my education and generated revenue, my family decided they were going to liquidate the property. And they liquidated it, and the value that came to me in my own equity was phenomenal. From £2,000. 50 years ago, it provided for me nearly the value of $1 million. God wants to bless you with a kind of miracle that will make you speak in tongues. Because you can't explain it, nor can you define the goodness of God. You don't know what land you buy today for peanuts that will be millions tomorrow for your children to inherit. With a city that's exploding so massively as far as population is concerned, today we're buying land and there's hardly any land to buy. Tomorrow we'll be buying only floors like they do in New York. And what land costs today, floors will cost tomorrow. And there'll be 100 floors, 50 floors, 20 floors. And if you own the land underneath all those floors, you're multiplying increase for your children. They'll be kissing your photograph whilst you've been in the grave for 5 generations. Say, oh, we bless God for great-great-great-great-grandpa. Whilst your bones are rotting in Ikoyi Cemetery and your spirit is dancing on streets of gold. Yeah. So number 1, level, wisdom. Number 2, vision. Number 3, level of wealth, information. Number 4, reputation. Number 5, relationships. Number 6, real property or assets. Number 7, money. Everybody needs some moolah. Can't buy cornflakes without money. That jacket is going to cost you something. That house is going to cost you something. Money is necessary. Money is the least valuable of the 7, but nevertheless, it is of significance. Everybody needs some. Ask 3 people, you got some money? And then ask them again, what kind of money you got? The other thing that transfers in any major transfer is assets and real property. When you get land, it means God is securing your future, because real estate doesn't just secure today, it secures tomorrow. My father bought land, as I told you earlier, for nothing, and it was not of much value then. But 50 years later, it's worth billions. What you buy today for millions will be worth billions half a century from now, maybe even less, with the kind of population explosion that we have. Victoria Island, nobody wanted to buy land there. It was marsh. It was reclaimed land. But 50 years later, it's worth, that property with building on it is worth $1 billion. We bought 25 for 25 million naira 10 years ago. House on the Rock bought just under 10 acres of property on the Lekki Peninsula for our worship site. We built 1 building, we're going to build 3 other buildings there. Today, without the brick and mortar on it, that land by the valuers is valued at 3 billion naira. You should thank God I'm your pastor. In other words, we've created an asset base with 10-year differential of 3 billion naira with just 25 million naira. When you put the building on it and it's finished and furnished, they tell me that the value will at least be 10 billion naira today. What about 50 years from now? And then you tell us that we will not be a major player in the economy. In fact, the fact that we are there has raised the value of all the other properties in the area. Because we are a market of 50,000 people attending service in a 24-hour period between Saturday night and Sunday evening. So the value of everything there is going to go up. LCC came and said to us, you are the major destination on the Lekki Expressway. I said, we? Look at somebody, tell him you have no idea